What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks. And we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks. Cause True Talks, alright? Let's get straight right into it. Bruh, so you already know, man, like basically last night obviously was an important game, especially for the Bucks. They're on a 4-game losing streak, right? And then obviously they lost the game in basically a blowout fashion. It wasn't like it was hella close or anything like that. They tried to make a comeback, but obviously they couldn't come back, right? So, it was basically a blowout. And, they're on a 5-game losing streak. This is the first team, I think, in history to have, go on a 5-game winning streak and then go on a 5-game losing streak, like in the same season or something like that. I'm not too sure, but they're obviously like there's problems with the Bucks, and this is something that is not new. But I'll talk about the Bucks more so later. But obviously, this is a great win with the Raptors, a great win. The back-to-back wins versus the Bucks, obviously. They lost to the Wolves, but they got back-to-back wins. You know what I'm saying? And when they got back-to-back wins, versus top Bucks were what? The second seed, I think, before the Raptors were playing them. And obviously now the Nets have overpassed them, but they were the second seed, you know what I'm saying? And when you look at it from that perspective, like these are great wins. These are great wins, however way you want to slice it, right? And that's just what elite looks like. And what is, we'll talk about that, obviously. We'll go into everything. Lowry didn't play. But we'll go into more, Let's go into that context. Because I give it that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. Bruh, so you already know. Obviously, this is what we're going to do. When it's blowouts, we're not going to go straight into the breakdowns and the clips. We're still going to do breakdowns, obviously. But we're not going to go into, it just makes it, there's no point. It makes it longer and whatever. I could talk about what changed and what happened. As the clips kind of, you put me into the corner and the clips kind of play. But we're not going to go into the actual, slow-mo or talk about it with the screen and all that type of stuff. And, it is unnecessary when it's a blowout. It's not, the context isn't hella serious. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we'll do. It makes it more efficient, more easier. I could talk about more things and more content. You know what I'm saying? But we'll break down when it's clutch, or at least if it was close and then it kind of broke out later on the late third or, early fourth, something like that. But this was a blowout basically the whole game. So, there's no reason. Anyways, you already know. So let's go into talking about it and basically breaking down what transpired and just how the Raptors are finding their groove and, turning it around. Like a lot of people, obviously, earlier on, I was basically highlighting how Pascal has been underperforming. I've highlighted that how Pascal has been, basically, sussing the runs and all that type of stuff. And then it's affecting the Raptors. Obviously, the hole with the bigs, with Noah Gasol, Noah Ibaka, all of that type of stuff. I've been highlighting that always, and I've been highlighting that for the whole season. And I've never said once that the Raptors won't make the playoffs. If anything, I've actually said that the Raptors will eventually, they're not going to be that garbage where they're not in the playoffs. But it's going to affect them. Not being at least a top 4 seed could probably affect them in free agency, right? You don't want to digress from what you had last year too much. But I already knew always they're going to make the playoffs. Like, they're going to find a way to get dubs or whatever. It's not like they're hella terrible, and it's the East. You know what I'm saying? But I already knew that they're going to be at least 5 going down. I didn't see them top 4. I seen them 5 going down. That's what even my prediction coming into the year was they're going to be the 6th seed. So with that said, you know what I'm saying? The Raptors obviously turning it around. They've won 2 in a row. The Raptors are right now the 6th seed. That's exactly where I had them. I did not have them better than Boston. I didn't even have them better than Indiana. Those are the teams that I had as the top. I had Boston, Indiana, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and Philadelphia better. And I had Raptors at the 6th, right? And I said it's going to be tough for them because, again, you have the Hornets who improved. You have the Hawks. You have the Heat. You know what I'm saying? And they're not even doing too much. I even said Chicago, too. They'll be fighting for, all those 6 down. And that's clearly what's going on. And Miami, obviously, is struggling, too. But they got hit with COVID earlier and they'll turn it around. All of that type of stuff. So it is a weird season. Even Washington was struggling too earlier too. But regardless, they're at the 6th seed, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, I always was telling people, they're stuck. Like, the Raptors are stuck with their team, so there's no point trying to do these, get new additions and all this type of stuff to try and fix your team. You're stuck because, like I always was telling people, the way the Raptors played it, the reason why the Raptors are in this predicament is because the whole thing was 2021 free agency, 2021 free agency. You don't want to do too much. You want to have cap space. You want to have room. You want to have flexibility for 2021 free agency. That's the whole thing. So that's why they signed an Aaron Baines. That's why they signed low-tier centers, Alex Len. You know what I'm saying? And because, again, they would want to sign Ibaka for 1 year. Why? 2021 free agency. Ibaka wants a multi-year deal because he doesn't want to be, if he has a bad year, he doesn't want to be having to get a contract again next year when there's bigs and there's actual big names in free agency. So he's being smart. You get the deal now when I'm a high factor now in this free agency. At least let me get a 2-year. You know what I'm saying? And the Raptors weren't willing to give him that. Why? Because 2021 free agency. They can't give Fred a multi-year and Serge Ibaka a multi-year and then still be able to actually pursue someone in free agency. So that's been the whole kind of blueprint, the whole context with the Raptors is we can't do too much 2021 free agency. So with those guidelines and with those conditions, obviously they're going to be stuck with their team because trying to get a big to fill a hole that you already knew was going to be a hole coming in, the fact that you didn't sign Ibaka and Gasol, that's why you signed Len and Baines, hoping they will be better for their money that they're getting. Like, they'll bring decent value for the type of contract they're getting and how they're under radar bigs, right? That's why you signed them. But they didn't produce. I could tell you that already. I already said that. Like, that's not going to be good. You're going to digress. And I already said that. They did digress. But when it comes to being stuck, you can't do too many moves. You can't go for a Drummond. You can't go for all these type of guys because it's going to affect. You're going to have to give a Powell. You're going to have to give other things to get that, and you're going to actually cancel your whole context, which was 2021 free agency. Because the more you get people on your roster, you get multi-year deal players, all that type of stuff, you're affecting your 2021 free agency. So with that context, you're stuck with your team. That's what I've been saying. And you don't have picks like that and all that. You're stuck with your team. You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that perspective, I've always said with them, like, listen, you have to find ways. And that's why I said, I know they're going to be 6th seed because you have Nurse. Nurse is a high IQ coach. Nurse can, turn nothing into something. He could turn it around, manipulate. He could basically find the best out of his roster and manipulate it in a way that he's going to now have high productivity. You know what I'm saying? And what he did, and which I was always saying he should do, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want Boucher starting, because listen to the context. And this is what is transpiring with the Raptors and the Bucks. As you could see, the clips are going to play. You could see the mobility, the high up tempo offense, high octane offense, all that type of stuff. Now, if you start Boucher, right, or start Baines, the issue with them is that they're not locking up the paint anyways. Boucher is going to get blocks. Blocks doesn't mean you lock up the paint. You know what I'm saying? Blocks doesn't mean just because you get 3 blocks doesn't mean that you're canceling everything. You're going to get 3 blocks, but if there's bare opportunities and bare possessions, they're getting into the paint and it's not altered because you don't have girth. They're bodying up. You know what I'm saying? You're out of position. Not only that, when you box out, they just break your chest and get rebounds. Like, there's so many things that go on with paint protection. It's rebounding. It's protecting the rim. It's altering shots. It's, blocking shots. It's a whole bunch of things, right? Being the last man of defense. And basically, now your perimeter defenders could trust you that, if I get beat, he's got me. So now they play harder on the initial perimeter defense. The initial primary defender goes full out, gambles more. You know what I'm saying? Tries to cut out, like, you know what I'm saying? He's not too worried if he gets beat and not trying to get, oh my God, I'm going to get killed. I got to think about guarding the paint and guarding the perimeter. So I'm going to play more cautious, more disciplined. Now you could be more aggressive. You could be, you know what I'm saying? All of these things matter, and they that's what transpires, and that's what it leads to. So when you look at it from that perspective, Boucher is going to get blocks from his length. Boucher is going to contest from his length, but he doesn't have the girth to basically protect the rim at a high elite, steady diet. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have that, and that's with Baines. Baines has the girth, but he doesn't have the athleticism, and he doesn't have the personnel to do that, at a high octane and, like I said, a high, high productivity, a high level, a high rate. He doesn't have that. So you're always going to be have a deficiency at the big. So if you're always going to have a deficiency at the big, you know what I'm saying, you could go the other way where you're still going to have a deficiency at the big. It's not too far off than what you normally have, but you're not going to have any deficiencies offensively. If anything, you're going to skyrocket offensively. So it's like this. You have the bigs. This is what you were with Gasol and Ibaka, right? Now that you have Baines, this is what you are with your starting five, right? If you have Boucher, you're like a little bit up here. So you're still drastically low. You're already in this area, right? But offensively now, when you have Baines, you went from here with Gasol and Ibaka to here. So you're here on offense and here on defense because you have Baines, right? He's a less factor on both ends. And he's hindering you because he's not splashing from three. You know what I'm saying? He's missing bun. He's literally hindering you. But if you have Boucher, you might be a little bit here because he's better offensively, but the defense is not too far off. They're not, you know what I mean? Is slightly better, but it's that same ballpark, but you're slightly here. Or you could use IQ and actually start Pascal. You're still in the same gray area defensively because if anything, you'll have better perimeter defense, right? You have more switchability. OG can get contact. Like, look what they're doing to Giannis in the paint without an actual dominant big. They're still mobile. They're still quick. You have some benefits that you won't have with the other lineups as the big. You still have the same deficiencies, but you could actually be better defensively because you have more mobility, more switchability. You're quick to gear. You can recover. You can help. Even if Pascal's getting his chest broken, you can come, reach, and have enough quickness to get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's multiple things you could do as opposed to with the bigs, right? So you're still slightly better than what you would be, even though you still have some deficiencies. But offensively, instead of here, you're literally here. Pascal now has everybody on the perimeter. He has the ball. He has a big man. He has a center on him. So now when he's struggling, because this year especially he's struggling from the three, right? Normally when he's at the four and he has length on him, at least he could maybe hit the three and stuff like that. He's struggling from those areas, and that's affecting his confidence. So what you're doing now is you're manipulating the situation to make his production and his usage rate, his productivity and PER increase. And what you're doing is basically you're now manipulating it where you're having a mismatch because you have him at the five. Like you see, he has Lopez on him. He's going to have centers on him where he can actually kill and go downhill and attack the paint, blow by them. And if they sag off, he can still somewhat shoot. And even then, he doesn't have to. He can now be the guy running the action, setting screens, rolling. Like he's going to get more opportunities with more space, and he's like the only guy in the paint in those situations as opposed to he's at the four. You have Baines kind of on the block sometimes, Boucher sometimes on the paint or whoever, and he's kind of setting the screen and, I can't roll the guys there, contested. Like, it's different. So your productivity on offense, your spacing, your tempo, everything, because now your center can rebound and push. There's so many things that just make your offense drastically increase, and that's why you're seeing more shots. They're looking more like the Nets when they have Jeff Green at the five. That's what they're looking more like. You get more open shots. You get, for your shooters. That's why their efficiency is going way higher. Stuff like that. Obviously, they're not the Nets in terms of shooting and scoring and ability. But what I mean is that their small ball is creating pace and space, is creating opportunities and creating, high-octane offense. And now Powell can, now their guards even can now attack the paint even more so. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that are positive on the offensive end. So when you look at it from that perspective, that's what Nurse did. He manipulated the lineup now to now get the best out of his Raptors team. And that's what I was saying. They're not bad. Their record is worse than they actually are. They're not bad enough, but I was explaining to people, or they're not hella terrible that it's like, oh, Cap is done, season done. I was saying they're hella bad. The reason why they were bad was because Pascal's underperforming. If Pascal finds a way to be at least even a slightly bit off of what his normal productivity was from last year, they would automatically be a better team and be a playoff team. But Pascal was hella underperforming while you have your bigs underperforming. It's just counterproductive. It's literally just so many negativities that the Raptors guards and or whatever can never overcome that because their guards are they're average or above average players. They're not top tier players that they could absolve all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, okay, just find a way to grind it out with this team. Find a way. And what did Nurse do? IQ, he manipulated where this is the best way I could get Pascal to be somewhat of his production and his productivity that he actually was doing last year. And then from there, obviously, we're going to be a better team because it's not like they have bad perimeter defense and stuff like that. It's funny. They have no big, and they're actually locking up more when they have no big. That just shows you it's mobility. And now also, too, OG's back as well. And, like, it's just bare pads. Bare pads. So when you look at it from that perspective, credits to Nurse. Now the Raptors have found their stride, and this is even without Lowry as well, too, right? You get what I'm saying? This is even without Lowry. So, obviously, when you look at it, and I like the decision. I like the decision this game without Lowry to not change what was working, because normally what he would do without Lowry, what would he do? He would now put Pascal at the 4 and start Baines or Boucher. But what did he did? He started Bembry. Who's, again, he's going to now create defense. He can shoot the 3 here and there, but same ways he's going to create defense. He's going to be that OG type of create havoc defensively. So now you have him and OG locking up. Powell can still lock up. Van Vliet can still lock up. You have a guard, literally guard, perimeter-based lineup, and Pascal at the 5. And it's not like he can't run. Like, he's 6'9", 6'10". Like, that's AD. That's like, you know what I mean? That's KD, Jeff Green. Like, that's, you know, Draymond Green. Like, a lot of Bam is 6'9". Like you can run the 5 in this league. So credits to the Raptors for doing that's a big win, and I feel like they found their stride. And this small ball lineup is literally the key, and that's what I've been preaching from time. Put Pascal at the 5. Put Pascal at the 5. That way, again, like I said, you have all of this to your access, right? So now when you look at it from the Milwaukee Bucks end, like, man, like, the Milwaukee Bucks I've never believed in. The Milwaukee Bucks have always been capped to me, and I've always been saying that. And it's not just, like, their prime when people didn't figure them out before the Raptors literally exposed them that year with Kawhi when the Raptors won the ring, 2019, because the Bucks have been, even before they became a number 1 team, they had the same struggles in the playoffs always. Who do you go to? Middleton, Rose's level of play, but when it matters, is Middleton going to be that guy to shot create and just give me the ball? I'm going to take over. No, he's not. He, a lot of the times, will drift. It's like you don't even notice he's on the court. That's literally what happened bare times. If he's hot, then yes, obviously, maybe you go to him, whatever the case is. But Middleton is not like he's a scrub, but is he really that top-tier talent to literally – people underestimate or don't actually give credit to what clutch elite superstars actually do on an every given basis. Even like perfect example when Kawhi's here. It's not the fact that you score every bucket, but you're the focal point on every bucket, whether you score or not. You're literally the savior. You literally have the ball in your hands. Everyone's looking to you. If you get one bucket, just because you scored 2 points or scored a jump shot in the clutch, it doesn't stop there. Again. Now a dime. The role player scores 1. Then you. Then another role player scores another one. Then you. Then role player. But this off your pass, off your drawing attention. Like, it's not just you get 1 bucket and done. That's not clutch. You have to be consistently with all the palm sweat. You get one. Okay, we breathe. They score again. You got to get another one. We breathe. They score again. You got to get, like, you're literally consistently having to get buckets and carry. That's what carry means. It's not 1 play. It's not 2 plays. It's not just the last play. It's consistently. That's the different breeds. That's what you see Dame do. That's what you see Kyrie do, KD. Even LeBron sometimes be doing it. You know what I'm saying? You have AD, Jimmy Butler. The list goes on. Kawhi. Sometimes even PG does it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole plethora of people that be doing this consistently. That's why they're superstars. That's why they're different. You get what I'm saying? So Middleton doing it 1 here. Like, can he do it play after play after play after play when the game plan and the defensive game plan is focused on you? Can you do that? That's a different tier. People take that for granted. They don't realize how different that is and how involved that player actually is. If you know, you know. But the Milwaukee Bucks have never had that. They've never had that. Drew Holiday was not going to fix that, and I like Drew. But he's not going to fix that. He's not going to just and it's not saying that Drew Holiday can't be clutch, but for you to rely on him to carry in the East versus the Celtics when they have Tatum, Brown, and Kemba, versus the Nets when they have Kyrie, KD, Harden. You know what I'm saying? Versus yeah, Sixers. I don't really believe in, but they have Embiid, they have Tobias. You know what I'm saying? Like Seth Curry, they have guys who could, But again, they're more so relevant. But those like the Nets, the Celtics are like the top tier like clutch dogs that like can win a ring for clutch dogs. Are you gonna beat the Butlers, right? Like Butler, Bam, and who else or whatever, you know what I mean? Hero, all those guys. Like, are you like Butler has proven it. He went to the finals doing it. Obviously, they're not there right now, but these are guys who are in the East. Is the Milwaukee Bucks gonna do that? Can they, do that versus them? Last year they lost to the Heat in the second round. So, and they've been upset so many times when they should have won. So when you look at it, that's always been a hole in their game. Now, a lot of it is obviously Giannis, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta understand, this is what the problem is now. Again, their play style, and this is why, like, Bud problem is adjusting, right? Like Bud, he can, he has it, he's there with their offense, their game plan for how their offense actually is, their game plan and their, their system or whatever. It works when it works, like regular season. But right now, you're seeing, that's why they're on a 5-game losing streak. You're seeing teams literally adjust and figure out what the Bucks are. And that's what they're doing, especially now without Jrue Holiday. They're struggling. And a lot of their struggles is, again, their roster wasn't the same. That's why they were supposed to be elite. If they had Bogdanovic, well, he's injured now, but Bogdanovic, and they had Jrue, and they had, you know what I mean? But now they have those guys who were playing role player roles like DiVincenzo, Pat Connaughton, and whatever. They were off the bench doing what they were doing. Now they're elevated. Like DiVincenzo started. Pat Connaughton is getting like 6-man minutes. You know what I mean? Obviously they have Forbes there and whatever, but like if Middleton isn't carrying, and even Middleton's numbers have even decreased from what he was doing last year, right? Giannis' numbers have decreased from what he was doing with last year, right? So Giannis' production decreased a little bit, and it's not due to like, oh, he's garbage or whatever. No, it's just he's only a paint guy, and the play style has changed. Like the shooters they have around them aren't the same type of shooters. It's not the Ilyasovas. It's not, you know what I mean, the same type of shooters. Bledsoe now up tempo, all of that type of stuff, right? Especially Bledsoe's defense, and all that type of stuff. Like you're not having the same exact personnel that you actually had. It's similar, but it's not the same exact. So there's a lot. Those little things are affecting a lot of these things, right? And with the other teams figuring them out, it's kind of like that's what is happening with their losing streak. Now, what I mean and what I'm trying to say is that their play style, the Bucks play style, and this is the difference between Nurse and Bud, right? Elite coaches don't adjust just within a series. They also adjust within a season. This isn't working, I'm going to change my lineup. You even seen that with Nash. This isn't working, Jeff Green start. This isn't working, Bruce Brown start. This isn't working, TLC. Like they're trying to adjust, and they literally give small windows of games, and if something is happening bad for small windows of games, you change ASAP. Bud won't do that. He'll stay the same for a while. Maybe he'll change his bench rotation, but his starting lineups he won't even change. Like you've seen Nurse change a plethora of starting lineups. You've seen the Nets use a plethora of starting lineups, right? Like, so why? And this is Nash's first year, and he's doing that. Bud, like that's my knock always with Bud, is his adjustment factor is atrocious. Why are you how you on a 5-game losing streak? We'll be fine. The issue with the Bucks, and this is not even just from the 5-game losing streak. This from the playoffs. The issue with the Bucks, and it's not Giannis' fault. Giannis is being played out of position. Giannis is supposed to be playing the Draymond Green, the new Pascal role, the Rudy Gobert role. That's supposed to be Giannis' play style. Like, he's supposed to be the Rudy Gobert 2.0. That's what Giannis is supposed to be. Rudy Gobert 2.0. What I mean by that is Rudy Gobert is not ball handling. Yes, in transition, Giannis will get it. Draymond, you push, you ball handle, whatever the case is, and now you get your buckets, Euro, whatever, and all of that. It's transition. They can't really stop you in transition and build a wall. You know what I'm saying? But in the half court, right now, Giannis is literally dribbling like he's Harden, like he's LeBron, like he's Luka. That's how much he's dribbling. He's literally running point guard. Your point guards are playing catch and shoot roll off the ball. You know what I'm saying? You have DJ Augustine playing off the ball. You have DiVincenzo playing off the ball. You have Pat Connaughton playing off the ball. Middleton playing off the ball. Like, everybody's basically playing off the ball, and it's Giannis dribbling at the top, 5 out, trying to go not work. He'll pass it, and then he'll screen, and all that. But he's literally it's like he's the ball handler, and he's screening within ball handling situations. He's not just literally on the block, coming, setting screen, rolling, get it, catch it, low pull. You know what I mean? He's not doing, that's not his context. His context, he's literally ball handling, trying to get to the rim, and now he gets doubled or gets a wall or whatever on his way to the rim. It's easier to stop and help on the way to the rim, and he's trying to get there. Then now he doesn't get there, and it's like, then he's passing out late, and then now they rotate, and now you're canceled. Now those guys have to create on the lower back end of the shot clock. That's not, like, yes, it worked for Giannis in other years. Yes, he's got MVP and whatever doing that, but that's not successful to how, you know what I mean, you're going to win in the playoffs. Giannis is supposed to be playing a Rudy Gobert role. I only dribble up the court when it's transition off rebounds and whatever, and I'm gone. That's where my ball handling duties are elite. He's basically like Shaq 2.0 from Orlando. Everything else, I set screens, I screen, I roll. And you see it. When they actually do that, it's harder to stop him because Middleton's a wing. He should be ball handling. Like, you see KD, you see all the wings ball handling. Kawhi. Set the screen, he rolls. It's hard because literally when Giannis rolls, he's not like those other bigs rolling. He can catch alleys, right? Obviously those bigs can catch alleys, but he can catch alleys, whatever, and he can literally get it on the roll earlier and then like kill off the roll, like ball handling off the roll. Like, most of those bigs can't do that. If they catch it, punch. If catch it, pump fake, punch, or like an quick up and under a hook scoop or whatever. Other than that, they don't get, it's not there, kick it out. Giannis can kill. He can literally do up and unders off the block. He can do push shots, hooks off the block. He can up and under. He's so length. He can do euros off the catch, off the roll, get it, ball handle, and kill. Like, literally, it could be like it could be like transition without being in transition. Him catching it off the roll, off the back end. It's harder to help off that. Like, let the other guys play me. Let the other guys play their position. Jrue Holiday plays natural position. Middleton, play off the wing, kill off the pick and roll. He could score he could literally pull up off the gap off the pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? Because he can shoot. He has ability as Arsenal. If not, kick to the corner. Like, you know what I mean? Let DJ Augustine play off the pick and roll. Like, he needs to play like a Vukovic. Like, play like a big, but an elite version of it, 2.0 version. Because he can ball handle, and he's lengthy, and he's athletic. That's the kind of play style that the Bucks should be doing. Put Giannis at the 5. Let Lopez, Portis, all of them come off the bench and play when Giannis is not in. They can be the 5. And even Lopez can go now to the post more. He's not just catching and shooting from 3. Like, you could literally play a whole different play style, and this Bucks team would be elite and be more dangerous and actually be a threat come playoff time. Because now you would actually see Middleton live in that role, and Middleton now will get better and get better and get better in that role and be more comfortable, as opposed to, like, Giannis do everything. Now when Giannis is padded, you give it to us and it's under duress. And now it's like, that doesn't work. Because how we're used to getting our shots, how we're used to scoring. Now when Giannis is padded, we have to score in a frenzy situation in a different way than what we're used to. And you think they're just going to all of a sudden click like that? Like, they're not elite enough to do that on the fly like that. And that's why you're seeing the Bucks literally struggle in playoffs. The Bucks literally struggle now, especially now teams are looking at it even more. And now they don't have Jrue. It's even worse now. Do what Nurse did with Pascal. Put him at the 5. Literally, the Bucks and the Raptors are literally, even when you look at them on paper and you look at how they play and just the players they have on the roster, they're literally so similar. It's crazy. Pascal is literally a poor man's Giannis. Pascal shoots better from 3, obviously, but Giannis is way better in the paint than Pascal is. You know what I'm saying? But their play style is the exact same. Transition, kill. Everything lower in the paint. Get it low on the block. Scoop, spin, euro, punch, whatever. Just Giannis is more aggressive and more dominant in those takes than Pascal is. But Pascal can shoot better from 3. But Pascal's struggling from 3. Giannis sometimes hit it like it's the same inconsistent 3-point shooting. It's the same. Literally, they're the same version of each other. Just Pascal's a poor man's version. You know what I'm saying? Then you have, obviously, Lowry, Van Fleet are better than the Forbes and the Pat Connaughton and the DiVincenzo. But the way they play is the same. Dribble, drive, killing the paint, you know what I mean? Blow-bys, drive and kick, drive. Like, they have miniature guards, smaller guards. Obviously, they're more athletic, but they have good defense. They can pad, but it's the same thing. Catch and shoot, dribble, drive, kill. Whatever. Mid-range here and there, floater here and there. But literally, their play style is the same. The only thing is they actually have a Middleton who can, like, be a wing scorer. But literally, other than that, the way they play, their guards and their perimeter players and their bigs can shoot and whatever, like, it's the same. They have the same play style and personnel, with their team. Have great defense, and all of that type of stuff. And then you go from there. Put Giannis at the 5. Bobby Portis, Lopez, that's your Aaron Baines and your Boucher. Obviously, Lopez and Thing is probably better, right? But it's the same. They can shoot. They can go to the paint. They can create. You know what I mean? But regardless, the play style's the same. Adjust, Budenholzer. Adjust, Coach Bud. Adjust. Put Giannis. It's not Giannis's fault. You're making him have to ball hand and have skill. Like LeBron, obviously, he's not doing pull-ups and not doing mid-range or whatever the case is. But he'll go to the post, especially now you see him doing post fades. He'll go to the post. He'll post fade. He'll do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Then you look at it on the other end. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's it called? He'll shoot threes. Giannis is he has ball, he'll dime ball hand. Like Giannis is not shooting threes like that, and you're making him do something he's not doing. He's literally like a big man with more abilities. Literally what Shaq was in Orlando. If Shaq was now allowed to dribble and whatever the case, and they go ahead and be you and how we have a 5-out around you, Shaq would literally be doing what Giannis is doing. If you look at Shaq in pre-Orlando, him rebounds, catching it, crossing over, he literally was mobile. He was the first version. People only think of Shaq as the Lakers Shaq, big and more having more pounds on him or whatever the case is. Even early Shaq in the Lakers was ball handling. But if you look at Orlando Shaq, crossover spin, he literally is ball handling, face up, kill. That's what Giannis should be doing. And it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. But, at the end of the day, when you look at it, that's just something that I think that Giannis is just being played out of play style. If Giannis was actually switched, then the Bucks would actually now their whole team, they'll be more serious of a threat. I still wouldn't believe in them because I don't believe in Middleton is not equivalent to the KD and the Jason Tatums and whatever. He's not equivalent. So for him to carry versus them, I don't believe in that. But maybe the combination of him and Jrue Holiday, maybe. But I would say they're more of a threat than the way their play style now. That shit don't work. We've seen it time and time again. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not going to work at all. But that's literally the Bucks have been exposed, and it's funny. The Raptors are the ones to expose them again. The Raptors are the one to give them the 4th, the 5th losing streak. And then and it's funny they're the only ones to do that again too. In 2019, they gave them 4 straight losses, right? So they've exposed them then. They exposed them now. You know what I'm saying? And it's come on now. Clearly, Nurse is has Coach Bud's number. Clearly. And this is without Kawhi, too. So, come on now. OG now is basically padding Kawhi. OG's locking Giannis up like it was Kawhi. Remember, OG was in there for the playoffs in 2019. So, obviously, you lose Kawhi. It's not like you're losing defensively when you have OG there. OG is, the pads is the same. So, OG literally just strapped Giannis, and then everyone helped dig and whatever, and he's not even without a big, so that just tells you it's not even it's the wall. The wall's the wall. I told you, the initial primary defender is padding him, and then the help is timely help. That's what it is. It's not the wall is stopping him. He's not even getting by Kawhi. Kawhi was even blocking him. He's not getting by him. He's not getting by his initial defender. It's not like he's beating him, then the wall is stopping him. No, he was literally padded primarily, and then the wall helped him sometimes when he's just standing in the paint and just trying to use his length. He's padded. Complete pads. Anyways, you already know. It's True Talks. Because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? We getting these videos up. We back, grooving, flowing, improving, and we pursuing. You already know. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate y'all. You already know. Man, that's what the league looks like. The Raptors, 2-game winning streak. Let's see if they can close it out. You know what I'm saying? Versus I think the Wolves, they play Sunday. So, you already know. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, share, like, and subscribe. You already know. And I'm out, man.